Hi, I'm Shannon from Chip Theory Games, and today I'm giving you a sneak peek at Internship Mode for Splice Dice. This is a separate game from Too Many Bones that lets you build a tyrant. Everything you're seeing today is prototype components, and nothing's finalized at this point. Internship is a cooperative game where you are working to build a tyrant, and this mat here represents your tyrant. We've started out with a tyrant that has 3 attack, 5 initiative. It's melee, targeting the strongest, and its skills are poison 2, rage 2. As we work through our game, we're going to be building this tyrant stronger and stronger in the hopes that at the end of the game it'll be able to win a battle. Every game takes place over a number of different days, and every day consists of a splice. So you'll be filling this tank here with chips and dice, and at the end you'll be splicing, hoping to make this tyrant stronger. At the start of your turn, the very first thing that you do is flip over a knob card. Knob cards come in 3 different forms, and these ones are opportunities. Those are good for you. If there's no task you need to complete here, then we can just flip it over, and this one's giving us an extra action that we could take on our turn. Other opportunities are going to have a task you need to complete before you're able to flip it over and have access to the ability on the other side. On top of opportunities, we have fatigue cards. These are going to do bad things for you. This one has an instant ability and an ongoing ability, and we have to be able to complete this before it will go away. Other fatigue cards might have a start of day effect that also will stay in play until you're able to meet the requirement on the bottom. And last is knob task cards. So these are going to come out on the request side, and if you can fulfill this, you will get to turn it to its reward side. If you aren't able to fulfill a request, the next day it'll turn into a demand, and that is harder to fill. And if you still don't complete it, then it'll turn into a punishment, which is generally bad for you and will last for an entire day before this card goes away. Every day as you're filling up the knob cards, you also are going to get actions. So I'll flip 1 knob card, and then the player gets 2 actions. There's a number of different things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is you can research lab dice. This lets you go into your draw bag, take out 3 dice, and roll them, and then you'll put them off to the side. The second thing that you can do is place lab dice. So I can place from my research dice into the lab. I can even place straight from the draw bag into the lab, but if I do that, I have to declare where it's going before I roll it, and I'm stuck with the result. Dice can also be placed on cards if they're requiring cards to be fulfilled, such as this one here requires 3 lab dice, and you can place from your researched or from the bag. 1 placement lets you place up to 2 dice for 1 action. The next thing you can do is research baddies. We have 1, 5, and 20 point baddies, and we're trying to get those into our tanks. We might also need to place baddies on these cards to fulfill them. This one again is requiring baddies totaling 6 attack. So I can research my baddies and essentially scout them up to 2 and see what I have, or I can, as an action, place 2 baddies. So I could place this baddie here and this baddie here, or I could place directly from the tray into my lab, or from the tray directly onto a card. But again, you have to place it if you flip it. If for some reason it doesn't meet the requirement, if this was requiring 6 attack and I'd flip something that would put me above 6, then I just have to discard it. The last action that you can do is you can discard a request. This takes up both of your actions, and if you have a knob task card that's on request, you can simply flip it over, and then it'll clear at the end of the day. So now at the end of the day, we are going to resolve our splice, and each of the lab dice do something different. This one, for example, is increasing initiative. So if either of my baddies here had a higher initiative than what I have on my tyrant, I would increase it, but I don't in this case. This is the tyrant die, so that is letting us take a tyrant die from one of these two baddie types and put it on our tyrant. So I might take the orc tyrant die, and now my tyrant is going to have that die when it goes into battle. Some other dice we might get, we have our ranged, which would increase this track up 1. And if it gets all the way to the end of that track, our baddie is now going to be ranged. We have the target, and that will increase the target track. And if it gets to an additional spot, then our target is going to change. We also have health. We would add together the health of both of the baddies adjacent, and if that is higher than what our current health stat is, then we would increase it by 1. We have the skull icon, and that would let us increase this track, and of course that would give our baddie this, which brings a 5-point baddie in with it when it goes into battle. We have the attack die, and we would put that adding our two baddies' attack stats together, and if that's higher than our current baddie's attack stat, then we get to increase it. And defense works the same way, adding our 2 defense together and increasing our tyrant's defense stat if it's higher than what we have. We're going to go through, as I said, a number of days of this splicing, and then at the end, we'll take our tyrant into battle, and if they win that battle, then we win the game. I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at the internship mode for Splice and Dice. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.